Hello. I wanted to take a minute and talk about Simon Cowell and e-bikes. So Simon Cowell, the America's Got Talent judge, American Idol judge, was testing a new electric bike in the courtyard of his Malibu mansion in California. And he fell off and he broke his back in several places. He did not sever his spine. He had some surgery. He's doing good and recovering. And we wish you all the best, Simon Cowell. I mean, it was a serious accident. And so my husband and I, we were reading about this and reading about the bike and whatnot. And the initial article that I read mentioned that it was 250 watts and that it could go up to 90 miles an hour. So I didn't really think about it. I didn't really question it. But my husband was like, wait a second. My bike is 750 watts and it only goes up to 28 miles an hour. So we were talking about it again today. And I was like, well, maybe they mistyped it. Maybe it's 2,500 watts. And then we were like, yeah, that makes more sense. And then my friend looked up the actual bike that Simon Cowell was riding. And I was stunned. I was like floored. And I was like, I have to talk about this. I have to make a video. People need to know that he was not riding an e-bike. He wasn't riding an e-bike. They reported that it was an electrical bike because it had an electrical motor, but it was not an e-bike in the sense that anybody would think of when they read the article. And so let me explain why. My husband's bike and my bike, I have a bike too. We both have bikes. Mine's a little older. It's not on, I don't think they sell it anymore, but my husband rides a Cross Current X electric commuter bike from Juiced Bikes, which shout out to them. They're awesome. If you want to get an e-bike, check out Juiced. They're not giving me any money. They don't even know me. But we got our bikes from them. We got some parts from them, and they've always been amazing. So shout out to Juiced. But the wattage on his bike is 750 watts, and the maximum speed is 28 miles per hour. This is important because 750 watts is basically as powerful as you can get and be street legal. So you can ride on the trails, you can ride on the road, it's a bike. You don't have to get licensed or anything like that. It's 750 watts. And so we ride the trails, we share the trails with people who are walking their dogs, riding bikes, children. I mean, it's a park and we ride our bikes through it, and they're e-bikes. And if I fell off my e-bike, it would probably bruise me, maybe if I hit my leg wrong, but I don't think I would break my back because I generally go about maybe maximum top speed 15 miles an hour. And I'm like hauling at that point at 15 miles. I'm like, yeah, the wind in my hair. I feel amazing. That's an e-bike. That is the e-bike that you think about when you talk about e-bikes. They're the ones that these big cities like Seattle have now put on their streets, and you can rent and ride around. And you don't need a license. You don't need anything. You can rent this bike and go. And it's like an Uber, but with a bike. You just take it and go. This is not even remotely close to what Simon Cowell was riding. Simon Cowell, God bless him, was riding something called, oh my gosh, I lost it. Here it is. The Swind EB01. This bike, it looks pretty cool. I mean, feel free to look it up because it looks awesome. I can see why a guy like Simon Cowell might, want to test out this bike. This bike has 15,000 watts. Our e-bike, the limit of legality, 750 watts. Simon Cowell was testing. He had never ridden this bike before. He was testing this bike. 15,000 watts. He was not riding a bike, you guys. It was a motorcycle. It's an electric motorcycle. Just like, I mean, it's technically he was riding an electric bike. It's electric. It's a bike. It's not legal. It's not legal. At the bottom of the product page for this bike, on their very own product page, there's this disclaimer. We want to point out that the use of EB01 isn't allowed on UK public roads because this electric bicycle exceeds the legal speed limit of 15.5 miles per hour, and it has more than 250 watts of power for an electric bicycle allowed on UK public roads. It is only allowed to be used on private closed areas, sporting activities, or on designated routes. They know their bike isn't legal. Of course. It's insane. It's 15,000 watts. I want to point out that the UK has more strict guidelines than the US does. So your bike can go faster than 15.5 miles per hour in the US, and it can have up to 750 watts. Whereas in the UK, it's 250 watts. So it's different. I also want to point out that Simon Cowell was riding his bike on his own property. He was not breaking any laws, obviously. He was on his own property, doing his own thing, minding his own business, testing out this cool, incredibly powerful bike. And I feel so bad that he fell off and broke his back. I think he said he was changing gears. A lot of times with these bikes, it's easy to accidentally hit the throttle. I've done it on my bike, but my bike is not powerful. And so it jolts forward and I'm like, oh, whoops. And I'm fine. If you accidentally hit the throttle on a $15,000 watt bike, it's going places for sure. So, I don't know. That might be what happened. But regardless, he was obviously going very fast, very fast. I think they said that, I'm not sure if they said it can go up to 90 miles per hour or that he was going 90 miles per hour. Regardless, if it threw him off with enough force to break his back in several places, he was going far faster than, like 3 times faster. That 90 miles an hour is 3 times faster than the legal limit in the US of these bikes. So, why does this matter? I'm not making this video to make a statement on Simon Cowell and his bike. I mean, cool. People like powerful stuff. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He had this horrible accident. Like, it's horrible. And thank God he's going to be okay. Thank God he didn't get paralyzed. The concern is the reporting of this accident. When you report that Simon Cowell fell off an e-bike and broke his back, people immediately think of the e-bikes they see passing them every day on the street or on the trails. And they think that Simon Cowell fell off a bike like my husband's bike or my bike and broke his back. And then they start to think, these bikes are dangerous. We can't have them on our trails. We need to get them off our trails. Like, maybe people need to register or get licensed, or, we need more regulations on these bikes because this guy fell off and broke his back. He could have been paralyzed. It's not the same. It's not remotely the same. He had a motorcycle accident. He didn't fall off his bike. It's so important that we understand the difference, and shame on the media for not communicating that, because I didn't even know there were bikes that powerful. So I just want to I just wanted to spread that awareness and to say that e-bikes are not dangerous. They're not like, you just ride them, and most of the time you just pedal like a bike, and it's got a little bit of an assist. Yeah, it has the potential to go fast. Don't be an idiot. But e-bikes are wonderful. Simon Cowell was not riding an e-bike. So just keep that in mind. I just hope that things don't, people don't start getting nervous about e-bikes and start wanting to get them off our trails. My biggest thing is like, I don't want them to forbid us to ride on the loop trail. That's my thing. So anyways, if you want to get an e-bike, check out Juiced. They're so good. And, Simon Cowell, I hope you recover quickly. And that's all.